world's ending, take a look around. You're tuned into the truth, or at least the truest sound. The path to a better planet, humanity's crescendo. Here's the plan, the regular man's manifesto. Regular man's manifesto. Regular man's manifesto. Regular man's manifesto. Regular man's manifesto.
Alright, welcome to the Regular Man's Manifesto. It's Chase Scribner here with Cody Pyard and Jay McClintock.
Shaboing!
Alright, we're going to be covering a top 5 today. It's going to be things to avoid in school. And that's going to be everything from elementary school all the way up to college. I think most of us chose like college-based ones. And then our topic is going to be cults. And like, are they dangerous? Why do people join cults? And everything like that. Alright, let's jump straight into the top 5. Top 5 reasons to avoid... Top 5 reasons? What the fuck am I saying?
Things to avoid doing in school.
Yeah. Alright, so my number 5 is going to be, like this is high school based, or you could even say middle school, is paying to get into the sporting events. So like the basketball game or the football game or whatever. Like jump the fence or like make sure you get one of those season passes for free. Like never pay those $5. You do not
I remember the thing that I really learned how to do this. It was actually, I think it was Chase that showed me how to sneak into these volleyball games in middle school.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, why the fuck have I been paying for this? And then he'd get us popcorn and like... It was a whole new world, because money back then was such a huge thing.
You just pocket that money your parents gave you, and then you sneak in.
Your net worth has gone up 20%.
Oh,
you kept that $5.
Sorry, Mom, if you're listening to this. I kind of took all your money that you ever gave me to do anything and kept it for myself.
Yeah.
I did not spend it.
Chase was running like an underground railroad to get into these events.
Well, when it came to like at Miami, like for sure, like we would sneak in, we'd go down the long back hallway and we'd go into the back gym and go through that way.
Yeah. I think we even utilized like somebody at running a distraction with whatever teacher was supposed to be guarding that door.
Oh yeah.
So you would flag somebody down and they would start talking to that teacher, pop the door open and sneak into the game.
Exactly. Boom. We got it down.
Too easy.
And then in high school, all I did
Ocean's
was,
11 style.
I talked to our AD and I got like a bunch of. Got a bunch of like free season passes, like these, like you can go to any sporting event, and I gave them out to people.
Nice.
Chase was the ringleader of this whole thing. All right, my number 5, buying textbooks. This is aimed at college because I got about a semester into college before I realized that
you bought them all first, though?
I bought them all at first, and then I got into the semester, and they're not even using them.
No.
They're posting all the lectures online.
Oh, yeah.
Everything you need to know is posted online.
Do you buy your books, Cody? You're currently in school still?
I rent them.
You rent them?
You rent them?
I rent the ones that I absolutely have to
You're still getting your ass took, though.
But I mean...
Some of them you have to.
When you get towards the end, I think most of the classes you have to.
Yeah.
So when I went to Trine, we had to buy all of our own books. And what I did is I found other people who had them. I would like study with them, but realistically I would just use their book and cheat off them.
Yeah. Chase is good at this.
Yeah.
Chase slid through college and high school pretty like...
Just easy. It was easy peasy for me.
Yeah.
And also what I did too was when I went to Indiana Tech, we got our book for free. It was in our tuition. So I had all the books.
Book
never used it. Never used the books.
Yeah.
Never. Are you gonna tell them about the like teacher's edition book that you got?
Oh man, call me out, dude.
I wasn't sure if you're gonna bring it up, but I started talking.
I wasn't gonna bring it up. No, this was like elementary school though.
No, this was college that you had a teacher's edition.
Oh, the math book. Oh yeah. So in Jesus Christ, I forgot all about that. So in college, I'm terrible at math. Like I'm not good at all. And this was the second time I had to take this class because I failed it at Trine and then I had to retake it at Indiana Tech. And I got a teacher's edition book.
They gave it to him on accident.
On accident. So like on each, I don't know if you've ever looked at a teacher's edition book or not, but like each paragraph would be summarized next to it of like what it meant, what it stood for, everything. So like when he would be like, all right, open your books to page 257, I would open my book and he would just read the little thing, like of what it was, and then he would start like elaborating that.
Yeah.
So like I already had that. So everyone else was like reading it all, and then all the answers, I had every fucking answer to every goddamn test, everything. He brought the test out of the book too. So he would be like,
shit.
"Oh, the test is gonna be problems like 3, all the because all the even ones or whatever are on the back of the book."
Yeah.
But I had all of them.
Damn.
So I was getting but I would always make sure I would miss problems on purpose and shit. So he never thought I was
that's
too
smart,
smart.
man.
Because when I would take the test, I would usually fail it,
Yeah.
or I would get like a D or a C. But like all my homework, I would make sure I got like, A on one and a B on another, and then like 2 C's and then an A and then a B, and just make sure I kept it going.
Kept it realistic.
Yeah, because I definitely wasn't passing the test. Only a couple of them I passed.
All right, my number 5.
I'm a terrible human being.
It's mostly for college too. Is procrastination, and I do this bad. I'll wait to the very last second to do all of my shit for all of my classes.
Do you know why you do that though? It's like you get off on that fear of just this mad dash.
I turn into that's how I thrive. I'm pumping out premium papers right at the end.
See, I'm total opposite. I definitely procrastinate, but I'm not good not good at doing it under pressure either. So I would just throw shit together and just hope that they didn't actually read past the second page.
He's a bullshitter, is what he's good at.
Yeah. So what I would do is when I would thrive on the actual presentation. So for my at Indiana Tech, my main class I had to do a 30-page paper on the fresh market and everything, and I had to give a 45-minute long presentation or something around there. So my presentation, I fucking crushed it. So I got an A on that and gave my paper. I got an F, and this is 50% of my grade.
Holy fuck!
I got an F on the paper, and he said that I didn't cite enough things, and so I plagiarized it. So I was like, okay. So he said, I'm gonna give you 1 day to fix it. It's 30 pages, so it's 1,000,000 words. And I went through, and every fucking sentence I fucking quoted, even if it was me writing it. I fucking put every goddamn page. I mean, it took me 5 hours to.
I remember watching him do this.
God.
And I turned it in, and he said, "Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Thank you. A on that. A. Pass the class.
What?
Boom.
Yeah.
What the fuck
Done."
kind of teachers do you have?
Oh, the best teachers.
Everybody's got the same type of
Christ.
teachers. All right, Chase, number 4.
For me, don't get too clicky. So that's gonna reserve to
Get clicky.
clicky good. No, but so that could be everything. I was specifically thinking middle school and high school. I guess even into college too. Depends on what kind of school you go to. But make sure that you can adapt to every group. That you're not single it out in any way. You're in the jocks. Well, be in the jocks, but make sure you can hang out with the nerds.
Chase was a freaking social chameleon.
Make sure you can hang
high
out with
school.
everyone, because then no matter what, you'll never have enemies.
Well,
For the most part.
Well, in that aspect too, you could be don't in college you could be you should network.
Yeah, and it's networking when you're younger. I guess I didn't see it as networking when I was 12 through 18 years old or
It
whatever.
was just survival back
I was just
then. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that if 3 of my main friends I hung out with were sick, I still had somebody to hang out with.
Yeah.
Or in the lunch, in high school, we would all eat lunch, and then we would kind of stand in this
Circle.
this communion area, and I would hang out with my friends, and then I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna go say what up to this person, and I would go to all the band geeks, and I would go over to all these cliques, and I just touch base, hey, how are you guys doing today? Just make sure that they knew that I wasn't this total douchebag that I looked like.
Yeah. He was good. He was our group ambassador. It was really what, Chase, you've been grooming yourself to be an ambassador.
Maybe I've been grooming myself to be a cult leader someday.
Maybe.
Boom.
Foreshadowing. Number 4 from Jay Bird is something a little off the wall, but I think you should avoid this. Butt chugging.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
For
definitely
those
avoid
people that aren't familiar with this thing, it's something it's a phenomenon here in.
not a phenomenon. Don't listen.
I
to
think that people are doing it.
No one's doing it. No one's doing it.
We should.
I hope they are.
Only person doing it is Steve-O and Jackass.
People are doing this, man.
People aren't doing it.
People are flipping themselves upside down and
They're
letting
not.
somebody dump something into their
No,
bowl.
it's gonna be a beer pong base probably. I'm assuming.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Or
So you're
not
just
a-
chugging
beer bottle.
instead of your mouth. You're chugging it through your
And the
mouth.
reason why people do that is because it doesn't. Then alcohol won't pass through your liver to where it breaks it down to where you're you get super drunk. You drink one shot like that and you're blacked out.
I bet some people
It's
are.
super dangerous. You can die like that very easily. So definitely avoid that.
Yeah, avoid it.
You'd be a legend in high school.
Most people. Another way that a lot of people do it too, though, is they soak like a towel or like something in alcohol, and then they'll like shove it up their butt.
You seem very experienced with
So
this.
avoid
I'm
it.
knowing about it.
Unless you need some quick notoriety, like in a pinch, don't butt chug.
Don't butt chug.
But if you do need it, here's an idea for you.
Don't butt chug ever, especially in elementary school.
If you're known for something bad, if you're known for something bad, just butt chug, and then you're known for that. That's got to be better than.
Yeah.
All right, my number 4. I'm gonna say, avoid doing too many drugs, and specifically like marijuana, because it just makes you lazy.
Yeah, it does.
If you do it too much,
So like I would
overdo it.
I would refer to so like I never tried any drug until I was like late college, like junior, and I didn't even particularly like it then. So
Now you're all about the meth.
I think you should, big meth fan. But no,
Big
you
old
should,
time meth.
you should definitely avoid, I think, doing drugs in general, or even. I wouldn't say you should avoid drinking, but I think like I had a conversation with a regular before. At my bar, and I was like saying like I think instead of it being like, oh, you can't drink till you're 21, you should be allowed to drink with like your parents, and your parents should teach you like what alcohol does.
That's how it is in other countries, and they have no problems.
Because like the first time I ever got drunk off alcohol, like liquor, I fucking drank like a whole entire bottle of like vodka and threw up and got alcohol poisoning. Was all fucking drunk.
Well, it's kind of weird here. You should be able to drink beer and wine at 18, and then liquor at 21, at least.
Well, I just think so. I think what should happen is like whoever, let's say your dad, he goes, "Hey, son, tonight we're gonna drink some beers," and you're like, "Okay, cool," and he hands you a beer, and you drink a beer, but he drinks a beer, and he says, "How do you feel?" And you go, "Well, like I don't feel anything." He goes, "All right, cool." Cracks up another one, hands it to you. You drink your second beer, and he asks you how you feel, and like let's say like maybe it's like an experiment or whatever. You write everything down how you're feeling, and then like you drink another one, 3 beers, 4 beers. Say it takes 5 beers to get drunk the first time. You're like, I feel really good. And he goes, okay, this is where you stop. And you're like, what do you mean? Like, I want to keep going. And you're like, no.
So, yeah.
So then he goes, this is where you want to be. This is the feeling that you want. This is called a buzz. This is perfect. You don't want to be more than this. You don't want to be less than this. So now what you do is you drink 1 beer an hour for the rest of the night, and you feel great.
Yeah, so it's kind of like we're just thrown to the wolves on the
Yeah, we really are.
We're just like, gotta figure it out ourselves. Whereas I definitely did not know my limit for a long time.
Fuck, yeah. Definitely not. Even now, sometimes I get
because
nervous.
like we would match people that we're with, thinking like that's the norm.
Yeah.
Not knowing like you should test your own limits.
Everyone's different.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
There's a lot of peer pressure in that too.
Definitely.
Because it's like,
first time I ever.
You're not man enough to drink 35 beers.
It's like I'm 100 pounds less than you. Fuck you, dude.
Honestly, the first time that I went to a high school party, I like didn't drink at all because like I was afraid of being like a drunk loser alcoholic, so I didn't like alcohol or anything. And I went to a house party, and I went down the basement, and I was like cool, like hanging out, like I was friends with everybody, and I'm getting ready to leave, and this guy stops me. He's this huge dude, ginormous guy, like 6'5", like 500 pounds. Stops me with his hand right over my chest, and he says, you have to drink this Keystone before you can go upstairs. And I said, dude, I don't like beer. I don't drink. I'm sorry, I don't want to. He said, I'm not letting you upstairs until you drink this beer. And I said, all right, cool. I'll fucking stay down here all night. I'll stay down here all night. So I stayed down there the whole fucking night. Like, the whole night. And the night's over, And, like, I'm just, like, fucking, like, this dude seriously, he didn't even leave to pee one time.
What the fuck?
I'm
like a gargoyle. It's like Keystone Gargoyle.
What the fuck? And so finally, it's the end of the night. Like, everyone already left. Like, it's like me, this dude, like a couple random drunk people. I'm like, I want to go, dude. He goes, drink this beer. I fucking cracked this beer open, fucking chugged it. I was like, you fucking happy? He goes, all right, man, have a good night.
What a dick.
So that was the first beer I ever drink was like that, and I was like 15 years old. I had my permit.
You got beer raped.
You did.
And I fucking hated beer ever since then. But now it's like an acquired taste, I guess, with anything. Like, you like it later in life, but.
All right, let's start powering through.
Yeah.
Let's start powering through.
I feel like we're killing it right now.
It's you.
All right. My number 3 is going to be scheduling. This is going to be college based. I guess in middle school and whatever, you kind of schedule classes a little bit, right?
Not really.
Yeah, you kind of get placed in them. But anyway, in college, you pretty much have a free range of your classes. You can kind of choose what classes you want when you want to take them. Don't schedule your classes where you have huge breaks in between because you're just wasting your fucking day. When I was in college, I would schedule all my classes as early as possible to where I would be done at 11 o'clock so I could go to lunch and I could watch The Price is Right.
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
What?
That's seriously what I did at Shrine.
I did that.
8, 9, 10, 11, done, boom, Price is Right every day.
I did that my first semester because I thought it would just be like, oh, it's just a routine I'm in. I did this in high school. Nope, fuck that. When you're allowed to like skip a class, I'm doing it.
Don't trust yourself.
Yeah, pretty much don't trust yourself.
My number 3 is, and it kind of goes back to like my high school experiences with, you shouldn't bully somebody. And it's something that's getting more and more focused on here in this day and age, is like the bullies are getting reverse bullied eventually.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't bully somebody.
With social media, yeah.
You just shouldn't anyways, just because like, dude, I don't know. I didn't really bully anybody ever, but it can't make you feel good.
Oh, man.
Too.
I was.
It does, though.
I was like kind of like I wasn't like particularly like would belittle someone to where like they felt like a total piece of shit, but like I definitely bullied to the extent of like where like you wouldn't hate me, but like I was mean.
You can be in a group of friends
I think
and get bullied.
bullying's more like you're going out of your way.
Okay.
To bully that person.
Like
because there's plenty of times where I've called people stupid.
Yeah.
Or something during class when they say something stupid.
Bullied.
That's not bullying.
Yes, huh?
No, it's not, dude. If you say something stupid,
it's bullying. Like an example, I have a kid.
You bullied somebody.
You say something. Okay. Okay, hold on. Say it right now during the podcast. I say something stupid as fuck, and I know it's stupid. You know I know it's stupid, but I won't give up on it.
There's a little difference between like being in a group full of like me, you, and we're buddies. We're good buddies. And be like a group of like relative strangers.
So it's being in front of other people that makes it bad.
I think so. Yeah, let's
because
start that
showing
crowd
off.
thing.
You're showing off for the people around. So like an example, like say we're like in a classroom and like there's a fat kid and like I tell like a fat joke and everyone starts laughing and then the fat kid feels uncomfortable.
No,
like that's bullying.
I definitely get that, but it's different than what I'm saying. I feel like.
So you're singling somebody out for something they did wrong.
They won't give up on their point when it's wrong. And I can prove it's wrong.
He's referring to, but not like in front of a class, like not in a classroom setting.
No, it is.
Like, in a class.
I have resorted to being like,
all right. Well, I mean,
challenging. If you don't understand
ignorance.
that, then you're just stupid.
And
I guess that's going too far.
So Chase laughed at a guy in high school for saying like, "Is a star bigger than this room?"
Fucking stupid.
See there, right there, boom, dude.
Not bullying.
And
though?
I didn't laugh. I literally said, "Hey, are you being serious?"
Dude, no, it's not.
He said, "Yes, I am being serious," and I said, "You're a fucking idiot."
That can't be. I mean,
that's bullying, though.
That's just like your natural reaction, though. Maybe you should.
I would consider that bullying, though. I don't know. I mean, I did embarrass him in front of everyone.
You're belittling somebody.
Yeah, that's kind of bullying.
Hard.
It's somewhat.
I feel like sometimes people need that.
Sometimes.
Like maybe you shouldn't be stupid as fuck.
I think overall, what the thing is what he was trying to say is like, don't just be like an overwhelmingly aggressive, like mean to people viciously. Is that the word?
Viciously.
Yeah.
Malicious. What's that word?
Volatile and vicious.
Volatile.
I think you just combined them.
Yeah, I did. Sorry.
Malicious.
But like, don't like.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking with the M.
No. Get off. Get off.
Malicious. That word.
Volatile, malicious, and
malicious.
Vicious.
That's what I meant to say. God, I'm fucking drunk.
As soon as you said malicious, I was like, okay, somebody with a big booty.
Fergalicious, vicious. This is my favorite podcast yet.
All right. Well, that was my number 3.
We should do more carbo
is it
before
my
the
turn?
podcast.
Yeah, your turn, Cody.
All right, number 3 for me is going to be in a relationship, and this is mostly for college. Those are your prime years.
I really don't feel like high school sweethearts should be like a thing that we romanticize. Like we shouldn't glamorize high school.
Your brain's not developed yet.
Definitely. Who knows who like you should be with in high school?
No way. Yeah, I agree.
You're not developed yet to that point.
You're not.
And I feel like that's part of college, is figuring out who you are.
Yeah.
Experiencing stuff and all that jazz.
Yeah.
So what Cody is suggesting is just keeping your options open.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree with you there. All right, my number 2 is going to be bigger is better. And that's just going to be based off like your size.
Your penis.
Yeah, your penis size. No, but as a human being, like the bigger you are, the easier it is for you. Not like obese wise, but I'm talking about like bigger as in like if you're taller, it's a little easier.
Yeah.
If you're more like if you have a deeper voice, if you're like more muscular than other people, like people look at you differently than they would someone who's smaller in stature.
Yeah. If you really do like,
So if you worked out and shit,
yeah,
like you'll
if
have
you
a
do,
better
if
life.
like you feel a little threatened in high school, and I really wish that somebody just hit me with it, because I was a small person all the way up until junior year in high school, and I felt threatened all the time. If I just packed on a little bit of muscle,
like 10 pounds.
10 pounds, like just like you show like a little bit of curvature to your muscles, people will back the fuck off.
Yeah.
Or,
But if you get too big, they'll start challenging you,
yeah,
like,
and
oh,
that's
yeah.
how
just
I am,
because,
because
yeah.
like right now, like me, like I'm fairly large, like I'm like 245, and like I'll like have people that are like 100 pounds. Like this is when I was going out when I was like 21, 22, like out like clubs, and I would bump into someone and be like, "Oh, my bad, man," and they'd be like, "Yeah, it is your bad," and I'd be like, "Okay, like sorry, dude," and he'd be like,
People
"Yeah,
just
you want to
wanna
talk
be
shit?"
punished.
And I'm like, "No, dude, I really don't want to like beat you up in front of all these people." And he's like, "Oh, you think you're gonna beat me up? Like, bring it on!" It's like, come on, like seriously.
You don't even know.
It's like, stop it. It's stupid. And that happens to me kind of now, like in a more smaller way, to where like I'm the bartender and I like have to kick someone out, and they're like, "Oh yeah, like you think you're tough," kind of shit, you know? It's,
See,
so there's kind of annoying.
I just surround myself with lunatics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that
You
you
guys.
only hang out with us. I
My
was like,
goons got goons.
I was like, I am not a lunatic, but I would definitely
But,
defend my friends.
mean,
I'll defend my friends 100%.
you guys.
I would fucking
You
kill
guys are like
somebody for Jay.
Space Jam
Dude,
fucking
I would
characters
fuck
compared to me.
You're like the
There
little.
was an opportunity for like a guy that like really wanted to fight you,
I know.
but he had to get through Jason.
I
He
was
was like,
yeah.
he was like, I really shouldn't.
That's been my whole life though. I've always
Yeah.
had like somebody.
I've always had
Oh,
like a
don't-
Chase or a Jaren with me too that like has
Don't
been
listen.
a barrier.
Don't listen. Cody has the meanest chokehold in the town. I'm talking about, I've watched this dude choke out a bunch of people, and he can take a punch.
Yeah.
Legit. He can get knocked out and get back up and realize he's not in a fight.
Cody don't give a
That's
shit.
happened. Is
Cody's
it-
a honey
He's
badger.
a honey
I'm
badger.
on 2.
Yeah, you're on 2.
I'm on 2 here. All right, my number 2 is.
He's skipping.
No, you're on 3.
I'm skipping you.
No,
I'm on
you
3.
didn't go. You're 2 yet. I
Oh,
did
we're
my
still
2.
oh, okay. Alright.
I think we're missing numbers. I don't know.
No,
No, we're
no,
on
it's
number
2, 2, and then I'll do my 1, 1, 1.
All right, go.
Alright. Jaybird's number 2. Not join an extracurricular activity.
Definitely.
I really do think you should kind of like develop your like special interests in high school, and I felt
Or
like
even,
I
like,
felt a
middle
little
school.
stifled because I didn't join things that I knew I would be like interested in that would have helped me on later on in life.
Yeah.
I know that in middle school, I joined chess, after school chess
I loved
class.
it. I love chess.
I went to chess for like probably a couple months.
These things
It's
will
fun,
never
man.
hurt you. These
Yeah.
things will never like
They
just
never will.
developing like a base knowledge of something where you can just go up to somebody and they say that's their interest. You can communicate with them.
100%.
Yep.
So people will dismiss you if you don't have that just basic knowledge of the thing they're interested in.
When I got into high school, I guess mine were more like niche because it was like football, like practice and whatever, and then it was like weightlifting and like golf. Those are like my after school stuff. But in like middle school, I did a bunch of shit. I played like soccer. I tried out for the basketball team. I can't even dribble with my left hand. But I tried out. You know what I mean? Like whatever. And I was like, you know, and I would stay after school and do whatever and like clean up and like learn like skills and learn how to work and shit. Like that was always fun to me.
Yeah. See, I wish I would have done that. I never got into that.
Yeah,
shit.
I should have done it more. I did a little bit, but I
TV
should've done more.
broadcasting, I feel like I did a lot in like middle school, where I would come like after school and like
You had all sorts of
Yeah.
activities,
Fuck,
man.
Fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
My number 2 is gonna be poop.
what?
Don't poop in school.
What?
Don't poop in school.
No.
Oh,
I just think it's
no.
dude. I think it's like
I can
you
poop
should
anywhere.
avoid it.
I can poop
That's
anywhere,
you, man.
anytime,
I
all the
can't.
time.
I gotta be at my house.
Well, that
Really?
sucks for
Right.
you. Your life is miserable then.
If I'm pooping, I think all public
Do
rest-
expand, please.
all public restrooms when people are pooping, it's an emergency poop.
Definitely not.
No.
That's why they're always loud as fuck.
No, they're not. I literally just pooped in public earlier today.
I don't get it.
I pooped right in the middle of the street, in public.
No.
I'm just kidding. I
What?
did not do that.
Okay.
But I poop
I
wherever.
avoid it at all costs.
If I have to poop, I fucking poop. I don't give a shit. People poop. That's just what it is.
I really do feel like that kind of like harkens to just feeling comfortable out in the world.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm super comfortable.
I'm not. I
The
guess
world
I am.
should accept your pooping. If not, then fuck them.
Yeah.
It's like saying somebody's like,
Everybody
if it was
poops.
like, look at this motherfucker over here breathing.
Yeah. True.
Like everyone poops, man. You know about it. It don't matter. Now, I would say that like the only time that I've ever been like really, really uncomfortable was like Bonnaroo, waiting in a line, knowing that people are waiting for me to
people
finish.
are timing your.
Well, here's my thing.
That was the only time in my whole life
my
I've ever been
main
like,
thing is,
shit, I need to hurry this up.
I don't really feel uncomfortable unless somebody gets into the stall next to me. Then I'm like, dude,
Why?
this
Then
is
you're
horrible.
Then you just high five them.
You are like inches away from somebody else pooping. It's just weird to me.
You ever talk
It's
to them?
awkward.
It is weird.
You ever talk to them?
No.
You
Why
shouldn't.
would I talk to them?
You should, unless they're making noises. You really shouldn't like.
Like you say like good push or like yeah, I really let that one out.
I just feel like I have like these situations where like I'll be pooping and somebody will come in, just explosive diarrhea next to me.
yeah.
You're like, dude, I can't even concentrate here.
I love it. But
It's
anyway,
the worst.
I think that's really silly, but in general,
You should avoid it, I guess. But no,
You
really
should find out the best empty restroom.
strategically poop.
Yeah, strategically.
so an example, like okay, we're talking about that. In high school, I would go to Mr. Lambert's private bathroom and poop in there.
I've actually heard there's an app for colleges that'll tell you where the best bathroom on the campus is.
I can tell you, well, 3 or 4 years ago at IPFW, where the best place to poop was.
Yeah.
It was that goddamn the building where they had all the history classes.
Yep, liberal arts.
Liberal arts building.
Yeah.
Oh man, there was like 3 or 4 of them in there that were just pristine, constantly stocked with toilet paper. Right across the street from the wall building that had the student
Union.
that has the Taco Bell on the bottom.
Yeah.
Boom, tie them up, baby.
Yeah, so I'm running across the boulevard there into that building to get to the. And it usually smell pretty good too.
Yeah.
Smell is always key. All right, so my number one things to avoid in school is doing the actual work assigned to you. That's number one for me. Is avoid all the work that you can.
By any means possible.
Any means possible. If you have to cheat, fine. If you have to fucking hire someone to do it for you, fine. Whatever it is.
Just don't
Now,
be stupid.
Don't be dumb about it. Don't get caught. But just make sure that you get the grade make sure you get the grade to
Really,
move
the
forward.
whole world boils down to this: just working smarter, not harder thing.
Yep.
You rise through the ranks as you learn to like just take advantage of
Manipulate the
little.
system.
Yep.
Oh man.
That's the way. Really, like you get to the top just doing that.
Even some teachers you can like super manipulate to where like you don't have to do anything. Like my senior year in high school, my English class, we did nothing. I talked her into watching movies every day.
Chase is good at this.
I mean, it was like we did no work. She
But
was
we
like, oh.
came from like a
the
public school that was not well funded.
I think we are the exception to the rule at fucking Wayne.
Yeah.
We
Like,
made
I
a
don't
joke
know.
earlier about like lunches and stuff, and we were like we were talking to Jay's girlfriend, and we were like, yeah, well, we'll just wait for your number one and then we'll talk about it.
My number one. Chase has alluded to it.
My bad.
It's much anticipated. Skipping lunch.
Don't do it.
Always go to
Don't skip lunch. Don't avoid this lunch because I miss a lot of these lunches
Yeah.
that I had back in high
As
school.
well,
Dude,
variety.
Galaxy cheese pizza? Anyone.
Those things that you've been eating for like 10 years, you don't realize how much you're going to miss them once you get out of
breaded,
school.
spicy breaded chicken sandwich.
Oh,
throw
man.
some Thousand Island dressing on
Because
there.
we've
I
learned
ate so many of those.
Oh.
We've learned to customize these meals and make them just our own.
Yeah.
And we get to the end and like these are our meals.
Another thing.
We've been eating for 10 years.
Oh.
So
cookies.
now like Chase was like a master at lunch.
Fucking the cookies, dude. The cookies. I would eat my cookie and then go around all the whole lunchroom and be like, who doesn't want their cookie? And I would collect them and take them home
Chase,
with me.
people didn't do high school like you. Chase like really just kind of like sapped everybody of the things that they just like. He crushed it. Like he
took
would come
advantage.
back to the table. Like I was lucky enough to sit at his lunch table, and he would come back with all these like pizzas and milks and cookies.
Chocolate milk, no.
That it was just like it was amazing that these people gave these things up. They were like 50 cents or 75
You
cents.
gotta pay for all that shit.
Yeah, and he just like would just take them from them, and they
Well, I
would
would ask.
give them to him, and it was amazing.
I wasn't mean either. I would just be like, yo, I would stand up and be like, who's not eating their cookies
It
today?
really is like, so if you're a gregarious person, or if you can just link yourself to a gregarious person like Chase, do it. You will soak up the cookies and extra crispy chicken sandwiches and milks.
Can I add on to that too? If you can, avoid paying full price for lunches too. Like,
absolutely.
Do your best to get on free lunch. Do your best to get on reduced lunch, regardless of what your parents' income is. Lie about it, or just
they don't check very thoroughly.
Do what you need to do, because like I feel like full lunch was like $5 a day.
I was free lunch.
Yeah, I was on reduced lunches, which was like $1. It was like $1
awesome.
or something.
Yeah.
But if I added an entree or whatever, you have to pay a little bit extra for.
I was on full lunches. I'm an idiot.
Yeah. But we were earlier. What I was saying before Jay brought up what his actual topic was, is he was talking to his girlfriend, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like skipping lunches, blah blah." And she went to like a private school and all this stuff. And we're like, "Of course you wouldn't skip lunch." You'd be like, if you ever skip lunch, you'd be like, "Oh, you only got ribeye today? Oh, screw that! I only eat New York strip."
No, she said that they really didn't have that fancy of lunches. Apparently, I would expect if you went to like these fancy private schools that you would have
better lunches than public school.
But like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. She eats the same stuff as me now, and she seems fine with it. Yeah. But we came from different areas.
My favorite day literally was
Romeo and Juliet.
Spicy chicken sandwich day. Though.
All right. My number one is gonna be: do not avoid this at all costs. To impregnate your professors.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should not avoid having sex with them.
Yeah, don't avoid having sex, but
don't
avoid
get
pregnant.
Yes, because you really know that they're a teacher. They're not gonna be like giving you a bunch of. You're not anchor babying a teacher.
Hey, yeah. Once you get the one time in blackmail, you get an A+.
Yeah. Unless you're just a dick.
Do you know anyone that's had sex with a teacher before?
Me.
You had sex with a teacher?
5 times.
Alright, I think
I'm just kidding.
I was like, I'm being serious though. Like, do you know?
No.
I mean, I know.
I know there was a teacher we had in high school that got banged out by a bunch of people, though.
What?
Yeah.
Miss Towns?
Yes!
You think she got banged?
I didn't even have to say it, and he
I mean,
knew
I
it
was thinking maybe. I don't know. I don't know if she got
yes.
banged out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she did.
She did.
It was.
All
they
the
didn't
black
even
guys?
try. Yeah. They
They
didn't,
didn't even hide it, man.
Yeah.
They're
It
was her.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I could see that. I know one classmate that banged the assistant principal.
Yep.
But what's that getting you? That's not getting you a good grade.
Yeah,
that's getting you out of class, though.
You might not get suspended if you get caught banging the assistant principal.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. All right, cool. Boom, knock that one out. We're gonna jump straight into the topic. We got Jay has a couple of talking points, and we're just gonna kind of like follow his lead.
All right.
Cults.
We're talking about cults
Horses.
here, and we've recently learned that like people kind of have a hard time differentiating between cults and cults.
Yeah, cult.
And they sound the same to us here in Indiana. So if anybody's listened to us from outside this area, apparently we struggle with it. All right.
It's mainly me.
What is a cult?
Like, oh, are you asking us?
A
Yes,
cult
yes,
is
it is.
in a group of people who all believe in a certain something, whether it be religion or like a prophet or somebody's like idea.
So like leader based.
Yeah, it's like leader based. They believe in this somebody, and just kind of identify themselves with that.
All right, here's the Webster's dictionary. Yeah, let's hear Chase's.
So I would say that a cult is followers.
Yeah, I mean,
boom,
that's
100%. Like you're a follower and you're looking for something else to lead your way.
All right,
yeah.
Here's the Webster's dictionary definition: a system of religious veneration and devotion directed at a person or object.
Yeah. Okay.
Object, as in like,
it
could be like a car.
Could be a car. It could be like a piece of toast that looks like Jesus Christ.
Okay, I like it. Like Always Sunny in Philadelphia on the wall.
Yeah.
The Jesus one
Yes.
made like $20 to see the Jesus.
Like, I feel like we kind of are tiptoeing around whether a cult is automatically dangerous or not.
I think a cult turns dangerous because
of the leader.
Okay. Or of like, yeah, there's an end game towards.
Well, I think
the top.
Okay, so there is positive ones and there is negative ones. So the ones that
What are the name of positive?
You don't hear about them until they become negative, though.
Yeah, you don't hear it. There's a lot.
So
of things.
here's a definition that I came across: is like a religion is just an old cult, and a cult is just a new movement religion.
Yeah, pretty much. I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to. But
It's hanging there. Like,
yeah.
think about, like, you really could just boil it down to that. Like, these people that were, like, that are worshiping these new religions or just old religions are just people like that had to have been an extreme idea back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Talking
But
about,
I think in that
leader,
in like the religious aspects of it, it's almost like it took off so much that the person who started it or like had the idea to do whatever, like create this religion, didn't have control of it and couldn't turn it into the cult.
But some of them
mentality.
they're not creating an actual religion. Some of them are like just saying, like, let's say it's like Christianity, like they believe in God or Jesus. Some of them are just saying like, hey, like I talk to Jesus or
You're
whatever.
a prophet.
But I'm saying in that specific, like, in the details, it's like, okay, if this person comes to you and they say these things, and then it takes off on its own to where you're not saying everything, people are interpreting it in their own way, then that turns into a religion. If you leave it to where it's like people have to come to you, then it's a cult.
I like that. I never thought of it like that. That's a little different.
Okay.
I like the way that you're explaining that, definitely.
So we were kind of thinking about like whether certain gangs are actually are actually cults.
Okay, so like Bloods, Crips type situation.
So
they get together on the purpose of
killing,
criminal activity.
Criminal activity. They're pushing. They're pushing. I think that they're not like worshiping a superior being, but I think that they are trying to better their group of people.
Yeah, no, here's the thing about that is they're not pushing an agenda. The agenda is to make money. That's not like really an
Grow
agenda.
a bigger enterprise.
That's not really a cult logic, I would think.
Yeah. All right. So we're getting closer to the heart of what drives these cults. What do you think the difference is between a religion and a cult?
Oh, it's slim.
You think it's slim, or is it just time or acceptance? So I personally think that like cults are just religions are just socially accepted cults. So they become the norm. Kind of like how a company really, they can like indoctrinate you into just developing all these beliefs and following this leader no matter what he says.
So they're like mainstream, pretty much.
Yeah. So it all goes back to, and I was toying with this idea earlier, like the cult of money. Like, just getting money seems kind of like a cult.
Yeah.
We're worshiping this just, like, higher idea just almost blindly, really.
When it means nothing.
When it really, like, it boils down to nothing. It's a social construct.
See, I think with religions, they at least have it, their logic is somewhat ironed out. To where, like, the answers that you can't answer are because
God said so.
Because, you'll find out when you die, or God said so, or something to that extent, where it's like, well, you can only go so far, and those higher up questions can never be answered.
So just, like,
It's
religions,
ambiguity.
Like, have figured out how to dodge questions better?
Yeah.
Than
I
cults?
would think so. Well, I think their logic is flushed out better than cults are, because cults can have, like cult leaders will be like, well, I need to have 9 wives or some shit like that, and people will be like, well,
they get too greedy.
But why? And then they can't answer why.
And they all gotta be the hottest chicks you've ever seen in your entire life.
They don't have their answers fleshed out, out.
So they're more streamlined.
Yeah.
So they just, well,
they got the game figured out.
I'm really having a hard time just finding that hard line between cult and religion.
Yeah, I don't think there is one.
But I think we should leave it alone
it's
because it's such a such a
touchy topic.
It's so touchy. All right. So why do people join cults? Identify the characteristics of a person that joins cult, and then like what draws them in.
I think it has a lot to do with like being in a gang and that same mentality, like you were saying, like Bloods, Crips. And I know with like biker gangs and stuff like that, it's like you want that identity. You want that like brotherhood or
friendship.
Like,
you're lost.
That feeling of being
Wanted.
belonging.
A deeper meaning.
You want belonging, you want purpose, you want identity, you want meaning in your life.
So I watched a documentary recently called like Holy Hell. It's on Netflix, and it's about the Buddhafield or whatever, and like they go through like all the people, like all the main people that were there, like the very beginning, and they talk about how they grew up a certain way, and then when they got older, they were like, well, is there more? Is there less? Like, what is going on? And then they met this guy, and he kind of pulled them all together and said, like, you know, this is what life could be. Like, oh, we want this enlightenment of, like, you know, the best life that you can have. And this guy kind of, like, led them through this life. So I think that most of the time, and these are like successful people, like people who went to school and like had a good job and had money and whatever. So I think that even with those aspects of like where like you're well off, like you grew up in a good family and you had, you know, like you're not crazy or whatever, like those people can also fall into that to where they're lost as an individual because they want to be around other people that think like them.
Well, I feel like it's like anybody can be enticed by the idea of more. Like you were just saying,
it's
you
not
always
just hitting
want
the
more.
like. It's not just hitting these like low class. Like you're not just hitting homeless people with this.
No.
Anybody can be hit with like you're just searching for that deeper sense of like what your life could be, because that is really I feel like one of the main things that drive human beings is that meaning. You're just applying meaning to your life.
Yeah.
We
absolutely.
crave it. We crave it so strongly.
Feels good when you feel like what you are doing means something.
I
think that's how they start though. Like a lot of times, like when, let's just say like, you know, like a cult leader or whatever. For the most part, I think we're going to talk about kind of like some characteristics later. But for the most part,
bring it on us right now. We want to hear the characteristics.
But I'm saying like in general though, like they're already doing things to bring attention to themselves. Like either they're like leading a small group of people, or they're like they're standing on the corner and they're preaching something.
So you're talking about cult leaders.
Oh, the leaders.
That's
We're looking for like what draws in these people that join cults.
Yeah, like the followers.
And here's like I read a Psychology Today article about it, and this person brought forth the idea that it was like shy, unassertive people who seem inhibited and awkward in social situations.
Yeah, I could see that, but I feel like I liked it more when it's like it can hit anybody who's just looking for that meaning in their life.
Yeah. Because I don't think it's all shy and whatever people.
Yeah, I don't think it is either.
Yeah, because like I mean that kind of I feel like that's targeting how the females get brought into these cults.
Even then though, like if you like really like, you can even look at like some really popular, you know, like cults, like you can think of like the Manson family and things like that. Like some of those people that were in that group were like outgoing, lovey people. That
LSD was involved in that though.
I think you touch something deeper than all these superficial, like you're shy, you're anxious, or whatever in these social. You touch something where they literally feel like it is a belief. At that point?
Do you think people just want to give up their lives to be part of this? Because we know
maybe
that
it's like something with like submissiveness, of like, well, this person is telling me that he's gonna guide me through my life and make it great.
I think it goes back to like you just like you don't want to die, like so you feel like you're living for a purpose bigger than yourself. So if you devote yourself to something that's gonna carry on after you, then you don't really die.
Yeah.
Kind of why people feel so like so strongly for having children and like
or religion in general.
Religion in general, like that's such a huge pull on people. Like we don't want to die.
Yeah.
We just don't want to.
Yeah.
We'll do anything we can, like anything that seems like it might offer a solution.
Well, cults always offer you something. They offer you a promise of something. Yeah. I've never. I didn't read any cults that didn't promise you something.
Yeah, a lot of these cults are like, well, it's mainly the dangerous ones where like they say like I'm a prophet and I'm got this direct communication with God, and he's telling me like this is the path that we need to take.
Yeah.
So like this is what we're going to do next. And you might be like, "What?" But like they're so confident.
And like they're so charismatic as part of it.
So you want to bring up like what a cult leader like the
the characteristics of a cult leader. Let's hear them.
Yeah, I think they are like the most charismatic people. They're well spoken.
Definitely well spoken because they have to lead all these
Silver
people.
tongue. Any question that gets brought up, they're able to answer it with.
But that goes with just like feeling like you like the thing you say is the answer.
So
that's confidence.
Yeah,
it's confidence but it's repetition at the same time because you know that person's been asked that question in a million different ways by all their followers, and they're able to answer it like in those different ways perfectly. So it draws me to one of my questions is, do you think these people that start cults start them in the like purpose to start a cult, or do they actually believe in what they're doing?
It seems to me that it would definitely be more weighted towards the person wanted to start a cult because it goes back towards like feeding their ego, like affirmation of what they're believing.
I don't think you could run it the way that some of these cults have been run without believing it.
So this just keeps bringing me back to this documentary I just watched, the Buddhafield thing. So it doesn't say like how the cult itself was created and everything. It pretty much starts out as like this dude who was like this washed up actor and stuff. You find all this shit out
gay
later.
Porn actor, right?
Yeah.
Well, you find all this shit later. But he was a therapist pretty much. So he was just giving like individual like enlightenments to people where like he would sit down with them and you'd give him like $50 and he would like talk to you about like God and things, because he said to them like he talked about God, and then like they would listen to everything he was saying, and then like they would come back like every week, and then I think that he realized like, hey, these people want to follow me, these people want to do things with me, these people want to be around me. So he created this whole entire like lifestyle around it, to where like at the very beginning when it was first created, all these people were like, okay, like, and they lived normal lives, like they had jobs, they had whatever, but then he would ask things from them, like he'd be like, you'd have to do things called like services, where you'd have to like do like community service, or you'd have to help out another member of the group or whatever, like things like that. And like people would work a 40-hour work week, and then they'd work 40 hours doing something else. Like they were just working all the time, and they didn't give a shit about it. Like they were like so into that because like this guy was telling them like God talks to me, God, everything's through me, blah blah blah. And it just like grew and grew and grew and grew and grew until he had like, you know, all these people underneath him. And this whole time it was about him talking to God through them, religious wise, and then later on it got all about him as the God.
See, in that aspect, could we take that all the way back to ancient times when we had divine kings? Because wouldn't that just be a cult on a national level?
It would be, but it's like it's socially accepted. Makes it not a cult though. Actually,
you were picked from God, and you're the voice of God to lead our nation.
The thing with cults, I realize they're just, for me, and I really don't, it doesn't fit in with the Webster's dictionary term, is it's like not socially acceptable.
Yeah, but there's all the aspects of cults. It's not socially acceptable because one person says it is this way, when there's millions of people who said it's like it can't be that way. It's always one dude saying, I talk to God, I'm the only person who can talk to God, or a higher being, or an alien, or whatever, and this is what they said to me. And then everybody's gonna be like, no, dude.
What, so you're saying like...
But I guess in religious texts, it's the same way. Right? Like
it is.
Like
so
Jesus,
like
Moses,
I guess the difference would be like it's socially accepted. So if somebody come to you and said, I am a Christian, bink, somebody told me that they are the son of God, this is the things we're supposed to be doing, ba 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 ba, socially accepted, right? You don't even bat an eye at that shit. Somebody else says like, oh, I am the, what's the name for the Jehovah's Witnesses? The watchtower people chase? Did you look that up?
Yeah. Well, like, that's what they were originally before they were Jehovah's Witnesses.
But wouldn't that go into like questions?
Watchtower society.
Wouldn't that go into like a question of morality? Do you think our morality is shaped by the social norms that we've been conditioned to because of religion, or because people act this way because they've been told to act this way, or is it?
It'd be both.
Because that's your problem with cults, are the morality of the cults. You can't have 9 wives because that's not a moral thing to do.
Yeah.
9 wives, you said?
Yeah, you can't do these certain things because in our morality standard, it's not. It doesn't fit.
And with what you're kind of saying, like, religion and stuff, is, like, yeah, they, like, look at a superior being, they look at, like, a god, but, like, that god, for the most part, some people are crazy and they say that God tells them to kill people and shit. For the most part, that god isn't manipulating them to make them do, like, crazy things.
Well, it's not manipulating them directly. It's manipulating them through the person who's saying they're talking to God.
Yeah.
But,
They're
like,
being
still with
manipulated.
priests say, like, I really don't see
I think
a
that's an
difference.
interpretation because priests don't actually communicate with God. I don't think we could go to a priest right now and he would say, I actually communicate. Or God has actually ever communicated back. They don't say that.
Oh, man, I don't know, dude. They say that.
But if they do,
They
though,
say
like,
they
who would
communicate.
question it?
No one would question it. They'd say, like, yep, you're talking to God. We know that you talk to God.
Well, it's just because they don't get crazy with it.
They keep it very
We're conditioned
simple.
to this social morality norm where the tenets are set up for you. Don't
think
kill,
of how
don't
long
cheat, don't
Christianity's
lie,
been
don't,
around, and, like, those things have been around.
don't do these simple,
Hundreds of years.
simple things where if you never had religion, you would know. I shouldn't fucking do that, kill someone, because
That's morally wrong.
it's morally wrong.
Alright. Who here, in this group of 3 of us, would become a cult leader?
I looked at Chase, but
What?
you're too charismatic.
I would say.
I think all 3 of us have aspects of a cult leader.
So earlier, me and Jay were kind of talking about it, and, like, I was thinking that, like, Jay would be, if we decided to build a cult, like, Jay would be, like, the behind the scenes, like, he would write all my speeches and stuff. And then I would like tell them to the people.
Yes.
And so then I would be like the face of it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So like I would be the Steve Jobs and Jaden would be the
Bill
Woz-
Gates.
Yeah, I
No,
was
the
just gonna say,
Wozniak.
Steve
I
Wozniak.
I was gonna say we got a sociopath, a charismatic person, and I like to be like overly well informed. I know
Boom,
Jay
we
does
got
too.
it.
So it's
Perfect
like
cult
boom,
leaders right
cult
here.
leader.
We could be a triumvirate.
Spaghetti
of the
monsters.
cult. The Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Like, that would be where I would attack it at.
Oh man.
I'm just so
Well, let's
anti.
talk a little bit about, like, so since we've just
Let's
been
talk
talking
some
about
specific ones.
I want to kind of talk about, like, the dangerous ones, like the ones that, like, when people think of cults, they think of negative things. They think of like
Jim
like,
Jones.
Yeah, like murder. They break down like murder. They think of like really negative things.
Really, nobody ever thinks of cults until something goes horribly wrong, like a sexual thing or like
Definitely
a murder thing.
Sexual based big time. Like a lot of them are like molesting kids or having sex with
And a
whoever
lot
had
of them-
multiple wives.
A lot of them have the premise of like, this is the apocalypse. Let's do this thing for the apocalypse, and when that shit doesn't happen, they usually freak out.
Yeah.
Cody
guess-
disagrees, apparently?
No, I guess that's true. But, like, in the case of, like, what about, like, Scientology?
See, like I was really trying to avoid that.
That's a religion at this point.
It's a religion.
Actually,
It's a real religion, dude.
the
It's-
UK, Germany,
Other
a lot
countries.
of Western countries view it as a cult.
But in the
and we'll
United
not let
States, it's a
them-
religion.
We'll
though,
not
man.
let them label themselves as a religion.
You can get married under a pastor of the Church of Flying Spaghetti Monster.
So, that's a religion now.
Yeah. It really is just, like, whether it's socially acceptable or not. Like, that, like, the whole thing really on the cult versus religion is, like, whether it's just accepted by the mass amount of people.
Well, I just want to get into a little bit into Scientology.
All right, we'll let you talk
Did
about it.
a little bit of research.
I did
on
no
it.
research on it because it's.
I
totally
really
ridiculous.
doubt we have any
Listen-
Scientology listeners, but if you are, listen up.
Listen to this. The man who created Scientology was quoted saying this: "If a man really wanted to make $1 million, the best way would be to start his own religion." Quoted saying that 3 years before Scientology was created by him. So then
L. Ron Hubbard, right? And his name
Yeah.
is literally just the L.
L. Ron Hubbard. He was quoted saying that in 1948, or 4 years later, in 1952, Scientology was created by him.
So he's
So I mean, like,
trying to make $1 million.
like, how do you know that as being a Scientologist and are just like, yeah?
They don't know the history. This is actually
He is
something.
a famous scientific, like, not scientific, sci-fi writer, and then he comes up with this crazy story about aliens and shit, and makes it a religion.
This is something I wanted to talk about the whole time. I just remembered it. So, like, cults were a big thing through 90s, through midway through the 2000s.
Oh, yeah.
But now you're not hearing about them so much. The takeoff of social media has kind of, like, snubbed these cult explosions. Do you think that's connected, or is it just...
I think it might be due to people verifying before they fucking join
That, and
the
I just
cult.
think that mainstream religions like Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hindu, Buddhism have like taken over to where like these other small like believe in me things are going to be rare. They're not going to catch enough steam.
They're
or get
consolidating?
enough- they're not going to be getting enough people to where they could actually be able to get a membership and get to be functioning.
I think that these social media things are filling that, like, purpose where it's like people wanting to find validation, this extra purpose in life, and they can do that so simply through Facebook and Instagram, and, like, I really do think it's filling that void that cults were doing.
I don't know about that. I'm not.
I do.
I'm not on board with that completely.
You think, are cults still... Cults are obviously
Alright, so-
still a thing.
Like small.
So, yeah, they are.
It depends on what you think of as a cult. Yeah,
So, what about the? It's like it's sects of like religions basically. So like, have you guys heard of the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints?
yeah.
Mormonism, or...
It's in 2006. Warren Jeffs, he had a commune, and it was like a big televised thing where they like rated his commune and everything, and he had 10,000 people.
Way more than that. I feel like they had
10,000 member group.
at that particular thing, or just in general.
And the argument was, is it a cult or is it just like a secular religion of
Really,
Mormonism?
it just boils down to...
But then you have to question if Mormonism is a cult. Because it's a very cult-like, just like Scientology. If you try to be an ex-Mormon or ex-Scientologist, they
You're
come
shunned.
after you.
You're shunned.
They
yeah.
come after you. Hard. I know Scientology is like legal action. Mormonism is a little... I mean...
You know that, like,
It's
the
like
whole reason that...
Your family disowns you.
The whole
Yeah.
reason that Jamestown, like, they just, like, he decided to kill everyone is because people were trying to leave.
That's not
Yeah.
completely true.
No,
'cause-
it is.
Yes, it is. That's the truth.
That congressman was trying to take people with
He
him.
was gonna leave, and then
No, they killed him.
Okay, so people were wanting to leave.
But they
Then
all...
the congressman came. Then they killed the congressman, and
listen
then
to
he
this.
said, "Everyone's coming. We gotta fucking kill everybody, or they're gonna say everything."
No, see, here's where my gripe with that is they relocated from Utah to Guatemala. All the people that went to Guatemala knew what the fuck they were getting into.
Not necessarily.
Maybe you didn't want to drink the Kool-Aid, but you went to fucking You're following this dude to another country.
Really, dude, this whole thing just boils down to just like you gave up your rational thought to another human being, or just like an idea, really.
So in the Jim Jones situation, you have a gun pointed at you. There's how many people?
Not
are there?
all of them had guns.
900 people killed
900
themselves.
people. There's 900 people there. You have a gun. Not everybody's holding a gun. So you have guns pointed at you from the outside. Everybody's about to drink this thing that's about to kill
My
you.
thing is I break it down to like.
Do you? But here's my question: do you drink it, or do you not?
Not.
And you don't. So why wasn't people getting shot up then? They all fucking drank it.
Yeah, so you're overlooking the whole.
I'm not overlooking it. I'm saying, in your rational mind, you are not gonna drink it. You're gonna fuck this. I'd rather get shot trying to run out of this bitch.
Which I feel like some of them did die via gunshot wounds.
One of the survivors said that 300 of the 900 people did it voluntarily. The other 600 were forced, either via like injecting it into your mouth or
like you gotta think babies. There's babies and little kids there. They're not gonna be like, oh, let me just drink, because like there's all these like things where he's all like, life is over now, like we lived our life that we should live, like it's time to finish everything that we've started and we've lived a better life than everyone else, like just drink this. So everyone knew, like they weren't like, hey, we're all gonna take this shot of juice and live this life. They knew that they were all going to die. And I think what it breaks down to is let's say there was some people who had guns that were forcing people.
Not enough.
There's not 600 There's not 900 people with guns.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You should rush that dude and take over.
Well, that's what
I'm saying. But the thing is
saying.
at this point, they are so weak-minded. Those people were so broke down that they thought that one guy with a gun could control everybody.
Well, here's part of it too is, like I thought about and wanted to bring up is what kind of fucking power do you think this dude felt like?
Oh man.
300 people voluntarily, out of at least like 300 people voluntarily are ready to kill themselves over what you told them.
That kind of boils
That's
down
insane.
to like what these leaders have. So like they have that narcissistic attitude, like they're narcissists.
100%.
They feel like they have the answer to everything, that they are special. Like that just goes into like it just feeds that.
Yeah.
You did this action.
It's like inflation of the ego.
And it's like a test thing too. So say this, when he moved from Utah to Guyana, he said, you know, like in Utah he had 1,000 people, 2,000 people. Then he moves to Guyana, now he only has like 909 or whatever. It's
Those
like
people just validated. He verified his ego.
They verified that this dude is
like the cause he was doing was.
And
righteous.
they weren't like in Guyana for like a day. Like they were there for a while, like living a life, like a comfortable life with him as their leader, and he's giving speeches, and they're like working and doing things there, and like building this community and everything around this one specific guy who talks to God, who puts it on all the people.
Do you think that no matter what, these sort of like societies where it's like set up around some like human being that's supposedly just supernatural, like these things are going to go bad no matter what?
I would say that they will go. They are going to go as bad as the individual who leads them takes it. So from all the research I've done, based off of like
That's a good point.
even cults that weren't like violent, there was like molestation or like rape or like sexual acts.
I think if you give somebody absolute power, they're gonna do something bad.
People aren't
Eventually.
meant to just.
I don't get the end goal though with some of them. It's delusional people.
Yeah, so like the Buddhafield one, there's really no end goal at all.
Well, like I have this one, Heaven's Gate.
Oh,
In 1997,
The
39
Japanese people.
No, it's America. I'm
This
pretty
is
positive.
that 70s photo. Like
39 people from the cult killed themselves in hopes of reaching a spaceship which was following in the wake of the newly discovered Hale-Bopp comet. So the two people who founded it convinced 37 other people.
It was more than that. There was a couple of times where some people died for that, but just overall, that was the big one. Like 39.
39. People. They convinced them and did it themselves. I don't get that. So they must have believed it themselves that they were gonna get on this spaceship.
Well, it's brainwash.
Is there a purpose that you will die for right now? Is there something you will die for?
No. What would be the I mean, no. What would be...
What if someone right now was like, either eat this meat
or I die.
Or you die. Because you're a vegan. I think you're eating the meat, dude.
I don't know.
The fact that you fucking hold it up.
Be a situation I'd be in.
You're eating the meat, man. You're eating the meat.
Are you eating the meat, Cody?
You're eating
Tell
the
us.
meat. You're eating the meat. I know you're eating the meat. It doesn't matter. The way that you're thinking about it, you're eating the meat. any situation.
But like, just tell like, hey, you hesitate 5 seconds, I'm gonna fucking kill you. You eating the meat.
See, that's a hard question
1,
because you guys are putting on
2,
my moral.
3,
Yeah,
4.
I'm fucking dead, dude.
You're
not.
dying
You're
for
not.
it.
You're so lying. You're not dying.
Really?
You're not.
So you're in the same boat though, man. Like it's like
No,
it's
but
just
that's
giving
that's
up
a
survival
moral
for an
premise
idea.
that I've came up with my own, like on my own ideology. Like I'm not going to let this person.
But it's still just
dictate my
dying for
life.
an idea though. Like it's dying for an
It's
idea.
not deliberately, self-consciously dying for that idea. It's being forced to be killed. That's being killed for the idea that you believe in. Plenty of people have been killed for the idea they believe in.
Like,
Why
think
do you
of
think?
all the military
Why do you
people.
think we go to war? It's because these people believe in something that they're willing to die for. It's different. It's different when a gun's put to your head than when you voluntarily drink the Kool-Aid. No, I wouldn't drink a fucking thing to make people realize that you should go vegan, or I wouldn't set myself on fire, so you would hear my message.
Right.
It's different. It's drastically different.
I agree with you a little bit.
But
I just wanted to put you on the spot.
So you're dying as yourself as opposed to dying as somebody that like
Of your
somebody
own
tries to force
free
you.
will. Of your own free will, I'm not dying for this cause. Forcefully, I'm not going to give up my cause.
Alright, I can respect that. Oh man, I really don't know. Like, it's hard for me to differentiate where like just the source of survival is between the person that died drinking the Kool-Aid is and the person that died standing up for their beliefs are. It really, like, I just, like, you either survive or you don't, like, is the way I think about it.
See, I don't think that way because I think there's
So
something...
if somebody introduced you to those beliefs and they die and they ask you to die as well.
But why? Why do you have to die? That's the question that's... Why is that running through no one's mind? Why? Why do I have to die?
Well, this is just specifically talking about Jimstown or whatever.
Jonestown.
Sorry, Jonestown. But like other cults though were where the cult leader had his disciples or whatever do violent crimes.
Yeah, like the Mason family.
Like the Mason family or things like where like he as an
Manson.
He as an individual wasn't like, I want you to die for this purpose or I want you to do this. Like he said, I want others to die. So do you think it is more dangerous? Like who would you consider a more dangerous person? Someone who has his leaders kill
Oh, it's clearly
others?
more the killing other people.
Yeah.
Because those people didn't adopt those ideas.
They weren't
created sucked in. Yeah, like
through
you were
Manson.
you're killing an unsuspecting person.
Yeah.
All for
Without giving them
helter-skelter.
a chance to anything.
And that's the thing that we fear the most.
Trying
is
to
just,
put on.
See,
this
but here's
message.
another thing though. Like if you really like think about that whole thing, like he just said, we need to create chaos, blah blah blah. Like you got to go kill these people and do this, like whatever. But he didn't say stab them 575 times.
Well,
He didn't say bash their skulls until there's no fucking face left. He didn't say those
Right,
things.
hold
How do
the
you know he
skull
didn't
drum.
say shit like that though?
Because there's things about it that says that, like there's like interviews with them that says like, hey, you know, like we you know, because all the people that kill all those people are in jail forever too.
That dude was fucking insane though.
He's insane as an individual.
But here's my thing. Okay, using that with all these other cults is in like the idea of religion and Christianity, all the big religions. What is it about? It's about spreading your religion to people so they can be saved. In the other in these cults, it's like we all kill ourselves and we'll be like reach salvation. Why wouldn't you, in logical mind, be like, wait, why wouldn't I want other people to reach salvation with me? Why wouldn't I want my family? Why wouldn't I want
they
anybody
can't
else?
accept those ideas.
They just turn off and like allow themselves to be.
It's the same thing as Christianity. Like Christians think like other religions just can't accept the ideas that are gonna get you saved. Islamic people, they don't accept the religions that are gonna get you saved. Like it's all just like you think that you have a better idea.
But all of them, one of the main things about all of those religions is you should try your hardest to pass on that religion to other people and save other people. And these cults.
So you're
are not
thinking
doing
of
that.
like cults as like a failed virus?
Yeah. Sort of like these people kind of just turn into like they don't want to tell anybody else.
Cults are like the Zika virus of.
They don't want to tell anybody else because they know that's fucking wrong. They know it is.
I disagree because I think this is just me. Like my personal opinion is, I think when a cult is formed, like an actual where it's not someone who's following a major religion, is formed because the person who's leading it has alternate means.
So he brainwashes these people.
He brainwashes them. He strips them of who they are as an individual and says, like, you all together have to be this. Whatever it is that he chooses that they need to be. And he is their leader. He is their controller. So, like, the Buddhafield movie or whatever, he pretty much says, like, you can't have sex and all this stuff. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't... Nothing. So all these people... It's like... for like 22 years... There's people who followed him for 22 years.
Holy
like,
fuck.
into, like, the early... Like, mid-2000s.
Yeah.
Like, a couple years ago is when this all
You
came
could
out.
have Googled him.
See, I like that. I like that point of stripping people of their identity.
Oh, 100%.
And
That's what a
making
cult does.
a
That's
collective
the definition
mind.
of it.
That's
Is
part
you-
of it.
That's what people want, though.
You break them down. You say, like, oh, okay. Like, so let's say, like, and it's all recruiting based. So it's like the creator or whatever, he'll get a couple weak-minded people with him, and he'll spread his vision to them. And then they go out and recruit other people. And what they do is they find a weakness in someone. And let's just say it's like, he's an alcoholic, as an example. And what they would do is they would break that down to, like, you're an alcoholic, you're a worthless piece of shit, like, nobody wants you, okay? But we can save you from this. And they would be like, oh my god, like, you can? And then you'd be like, yes. And then they would bring you in, and then they would break you down into, like, where, like, you can't do anything without their, your, whatever, leader's voice, or your leader's decisions. Yeah. So you can't do anything yourself. You need him to tell you what to do.
It's like
because so many people are followers in this world. So many people are followers. Nobody wants to make their own decisions. Think of like anything. It doesn't even matter. Like, why is being a personal trainer a job? It's because people don't want to do things. Yeah. People want to be told what to do. Why is there a boss? Why is there a CEO? Why is there those things? Is because people are sheep. People want to be told what to do.
Yeah,
100%.
Jeez, Chase, calm down, bro.
I'm loving this.
Killing people.
But I'm just saying, like, just look at life, though.
Yeah.
People want to be bossed around.
Absolutely, they do.
100%.
You want to be told what to do.
And people say, like, oh, I don't want to, oh, no, I'm not going to get bossed around. But when your boss says, you do this, or you're fired, what do? You go do the job.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
You do the job. It doesn't matter.
It's like, you're conditioned to do that job, too. By your family, by the people around you. Well, you didn't want to fucking just do that simple task? Well, I didn't want to do it because I just didn't want to do that simple fucking task. I'm worth more than that. And then, like, say you quit that task and you get shunned for it. It's the same aspect.
I agree.
Same with cults. If you don't, you want out of the cult, you want to be different, you want to be individual,
you can't
then
leave
you get
cult
shunned.
for the most part, though. Like, for all the information that I found about, like, you joining one of these, like, mainstream cults, like, you either die or you get let out, but you're, like, looked at from people who are still in the cult to make sure you're not saying things about them and whatever, or you get shunned 100% to where, like, all your family and friends, like, all these people that have been around forever.
Yeah.
Like, like the Buddhafield one, like these people were together 24/7 for years, like 20 years. And then towards the end of it, they realized that their leader was like this fake, not real thing. He was molesting, like, grown men.
Jesus
like, he
Christ.
broke down grown men, like a 25-year-old man. And he's like a 40-year-old, and he was just, like, molesting them and shit. And, like, they were, like, okay with it because they thought that's what God was letting happen and stuff. Like, he broke them down into, like, they were belittled into literally nothing. As an example, this one dude in the movie, this dude Chris, would carry around this huge chair, this giant chair, everywhere they went in public. And if he had to sit down, he would set this chair down for me, put a blanket over it, and this guy would sit in this chair wherever they went.
What the fuck?
I mean, dude, it is nuts. It's crazy.
Okay, so that leads me to a
He would make them do plastic surgery and shit too.
Fuck.
Like he would be like, hey, your ears are like, or your face is sagging. Like you get plastic surgery first, and if it goes good for you, then I'll get it myself.
Jesus fuck.
And he wouldn't have any obese people in his group. Like he was like real specific on like the criteria used like to be in his group and everything. Dude, it's fucking.
Right.
Look that goddamn movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. But here's a question that came into my mind while you were saying all that is, what do you think about like the Amish community as being sort of cultish? Because if you leave, you're not allowed to come back.
Cult for sure, but it's kind of socially accepted, so not a cult.
Yeah, you're shunned if you leave and you don't decide to come back, and
I think it's tough
can't
because
see your family.
I think it's tough because now, like, I know Amish people who like use phones and use like they use cars, but they don't drive them. What's the difference of them like being in a car and driving the car? Nothing. So like there is small things that like they're like getting with, like I'm assuming that some of the Amish houses have electricity and things like that. So slowly it's turning into
it's deculting itself.
Yeah,
it's being normal, but at the same time like trying to stick to this like we believe in this type stuff. But overall, like,
yeah, they're not shut off from the world anymore.
They're using power tools when they're building your houses and shit. They're not supposed to use that shit.
Yeah, they're not shut off from the world anymore.
Not as much as they were, like, you know, 10 years ago.
So they're being decultivized.
Decultivized, yeah.
Yeah.
So, which that happens a lot. Like, nowadays, I mean, that's... People are either religious to where they believe in whatever they believe in, or they're non-religious at all to where they can't decide what they want, or they join a fucking cult or something.
Everybody needs that spiritual connection.
I think that's in between. I think the people that don't know what the religious identity is and don't know what they're doing with their lives and don't believe in that there's nothing
are more susceptible to cults?
Agnostic people are more acceptable to cults. So they do believe there is a higher power, but they don't.
They're just waiting for whatever it is to show up.
Yeah.
Like the flying spaghetti monster.
Yeah. He's real. He's real.
He really is.
All right.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I think we finished that topic up pretty smoothly. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes at Regular Man's Manifesto, on SoundCloud at Regular Man's Manifesto, and like the Facebook page. We look forward to feedback. We've been getting more comments and whatnot via the Facebook page, and we just want to keep that growing and keep that going. Thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate all the love, all the likes, all the plays. Keep it going, guys. Thank you.
Manifesto.